I'm a co-founder of SelfActualize. My background's in engineering, data, and product. And I've been working on SelfActualize for almost a year now. I'm heading up the engineering team here, and it's been quite the journey so far. And Octomind, we've been using since last, I think it was December. So it's been along for the ride, which has been very exciting.
Cool. What about you, Adam? Maybe a brief introduction as well.
I'm a QA engineer with 20 years of experience in software testing. I got my start with console game testing in 2004, eventually working my way into social and mobile games testing, then landing a role as a QA engineer with a large marketing firm in 2015. For about the last 2 months, I've been working with SelfActualize.AI, working on their AI coaching app.
That's quite a journey from a QA perspective. Impressive.
Yeah, SelfActualize.AI has built an AI coaching application, which is now called WingRep, and they've ingested the experience and writings of multiple real-world executive coaches and put them at your beck and call on your laptop or your phone. These AI coaches can sit in on your meetings and give you specific advice on how to reach your goals and improve your team's dynamics. As the sole QA person on the team, I have to wear a lot of hats, which is common for most QA engineers, but I also have to play the QA manager role at times, as well as be able to respond quickly to customer feedback. Of course, my main role is to verify that the incoming updates from the engineering team work as expected, and that code releases to the prod environment do not encounter unexpected issues. And Octomind has played a key role for that for our team in that effort.
That sounds good. So you're building AI bots or agents, which are helping people getting better in sales calls?
Sure, definitely. That's one of the focuses that our team has been making is with sales.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And can you briefly explain how that works?
So we record similarly to how this is being recorded. We record calls. Right now we support Google and Teams. We're working on Zoom support at the moment. So we'll record the call. We do not provide live feedback during the call because our philosophy is it's distracting. But after, we'll provide information, how you did that call, give you some scoring and some advice on what you could do better. That also will then go into the coach's memory. So the coach will be able to access the call. And so then you can chat with your coach and have a live discussion on what went well and what you could do better and like dig into various aspects.
Wow, that sounds good. What are the QA challenges around such an offering?
Well, we have a tight-knit team of engineers which are actively making changes to the site almost every day, which requires constant regression testing and updates of older tests on a regular basis. We use GitHub, and we have transient test environments for all of our pull requests, which trigger our Octomind test collection to be run automatically, giving engineers immediate feedback as to how their test environment's looking as soon as it's been built. And essentially, it's my responsibility to make sure that all the tests are valid and effective. And I also have the Octomind test project scheduled to be run once a day to make sure that both production and staging sites are working at all times, even if we aren't doing any releases.
So how big is the engineering team, roughly?
3 and a gnome. So I'm including myself in that calculation.
Oh,
so
yeah.
very
Okay. How do you coordinate with QA? So does this happen seamlessly, automatically, or do you follow a process or something?
Yeah, we use Jira, and we also use the pull request system within GitHub, and that's kind of our workflow, and it's working pretty seamlessly.
Now, from my perspective, SelfActualize is pretty early with having advanced end-to-end testing implemented. So that's not that regularly that we see that happen in startups. So why did you decide for end-to-end testing, for automated end-to-end testing? And why does that work for you?
Well, we're at a place where we are proactively looking for new clients and investors and need our site to be working from top to bottom at all times as we give demos and such. We're also in sort of a new place where developers are able to be more productive and producing code more quickly with AI assistance. And since we're moving faster than teams in the past could, it emphasizes the need for more QA processes as early as possible.
That's an interesting one. So you're saying your innovation speed is higher, and that's why you need more and better QA to keep up with that. Is that what I hear?
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool. So, and which IDEs are you using? So you said you're AI enabled, so are you on Cursor or something?
Developers often choose their own IDE at this point, but I believe currently we're all using VS Code. I do use Copilot personally, as well as OpenAI just directly for code generation, mostly for tests though. But yeah, we do use AI extensively in our workflow.
How did you, at the point where you realize that you're having that high innovation speed, and you need to kind of scale your QA in a way that it can keep the pace, right? How did you choose a product, and how did you do that?
It's a great question. We actually were familiar with Octomind because we had an advisor that knew Octomind. So that was actually how I got introduced to Octomind. And when we actually started realizing we needed more QA and invest more in Octomind, I think it was back in April, we were essentially seeing some bugs make it through to production, and that was causing issues with churn. And we decided to invest in both. So a gnome here has like very much helped out with that. And on the Octomind side, part of actually my request for him was to evaluate vendors and see what we like. And I'll hand over that part of the answer to a gnome.
When I got here, and I just kind of had to pick up from where the baton was left, and it was pretty easy to pick up from that point. But some of the tests were out of date and somewhat shallow. And once I was able to get my bearings a bit and figure out how Octomind worked with our site, I was able to make those needed additions to each test case and add new steps when needed. I was also able to help with setting up new projects and integrate remote test runs with GitHub as part of our continuous integration processes as changes to our site were made. What really helped with ramping up was that I could always see screenshots for each step of any test run and quickly diagnose issues and visually confirm that everything was working as expected.
Okay, so you would say the visual part of Octomind is what helped you most?
Absolutely. And the UI in general is just very nice to work with, especially looking at previous test runs and verifying that, we have an established a baseline of test cases working as expected over time.
And can you maybe, since you have that rich experience from your previous jobs and what you did there and how you worked there, can you maybe compare that against working with Octomind?
Well, having worked on custom-built solutions, I know how time-consuming it can be to develop and maintain a framework that was built from scratch. And I'm really thankful for the time-saving aspect of using a versatile tool like Octomind, which frees me up to focus on designing tests and then running the tests and an analysis of all the different results. And I definitely know that our team appreciates getting the most out of my workday instead of potentially getting bogged down and coding the scripts myself.
It's a pleasure having you, and we're excited to see what's next for you in Octomind.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Cool.